Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod, broadcasting live from Bitcoin country, El Salvador. This will be the last live stream from El Salvador for this trip. It's an honor to be here. What a great experience. I'll be doing a experience recap. Since I got here, I got to spend the entire week here, which has been a lot of fun. I'm also going to be sharing all the latest breaking news, including Bitcoin power of 3 setup targets, 103,000 target by Trump's inauguration day. In fact, we recaptured 100,000 already today, and Trump hits office in 5 days. We'll also be discussing breaking news with Thailand, eyeing spot Bitcoin ETF approval and cracking down on Poly Market. We'll also be discussing the U.S. Senate Banking Committee chair says the crypto framework will be a priority, as well as Bitcoin inflows under Trump sparked new 249,000 Bitcoin price target for this year. We'll also be discussing President Trump elected to sign pro-Bitcoin executive order on the first day of presidency, according to this report from the Washington Post. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. If you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes, subscribe, especially if you're not already, then hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. Today is pod episode 1877. I'm your host, JV. It's January 15, 2024. We're halfway through January and we're back at 100 G's. Trump takes office in 5 days. So that's kind of the, main topic of today's show. I'm also going to be giving you the recap here in El Salvador, just my personal experience. And off the top, of course, nothing's ever scripted here on the stream. And again, welcome y'all. I guess let's kick it off with our market watch. Being the markets are pumping, ripping like the new Scottie Pippen. You should be able to see here on your screen, Bitcoin up 3% on the day. Ether is up almost 7% on the day. XRP took a massive gain. I think this is the first time it passed $3 since 2017. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's up 15% on the day. Cardano's a pumping, Solana's a pumping, everything's a pumping and jumping and rumping right now. And check it out, coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at, once we get a refresh, 3.5 trillion. We're back in the game. Shout out to all the bitty baddies and all the bitty broskies. And checking out the Bitcoin market cap, we're about to recapture the epic $2 trillion milestone. We got 148 billion worth of the volume for the past 24 hours, and the Bitcoin dominance is 56.4%, with the Ether dominance at 11.8%. Checking out top gainers for the past 24 hours in the top 100, virtual, something I've never seen before in XDC. Which alts, if any, are you bullish on for the bull? And holla. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on let's start on the day, then we'll zoom in on the month. And you can see virtually everything in the green, which we love to see. And zooming out on the monthly, still overall a lot of wreckage, wreck city for the alts for the past 30 days. And checking out crypto greed and fear index. As of today, we're 70 in greed. Yesterday, 63. Last week, a 70. And last month, an 83 in extreme greed. And checking out the time chain calendar. We have 170,000 blocks until the next halving of 2028. Where do you think the price will be by that time of the next halving? Do you think we'll hit 7 figures by then? Let me know. Asking for a friend. And we're currently on block number 879,416. You currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for just over 1,000 sats. You may never see 1,000 sats per dollar ever again. So, stack the sats, put down the gats, and pick up the Bitcoin caps at bitcoincaps.net. Bitcoin power of 3 setup targets 103 by Trump's inauguration day. As you know, we have 5 days until Trump takes office and Gary Gensler is officially out. And they're going to free Ross Ulbricht. This dude has been in prison for idiocracy on behalf of the U.S. government, just because they probably wanted to make an example out of him. And I think he's been in there for like 10 years or more, which is very sad. So I can't wait for him to be a free man. And I'd love to have him on the stream. If you'd love to see a Ross Ulbricht interview, exclusive, let me know. Maybe we can make that happen. But the Bitcoin power of 3 setup hints of a breakout. Bitcoin's trend deviation liquid sweep near 89 G's on Monday occurred after a period of sideways consolidation between Jan 9th and the 13th. However, Bitcoin's flash decline under 90 G's was a short-term move. Less than 48 hours, we're right back at it, up 11 G's. This 3-part setup is commonly known as the power of 3, or the AMD. It is divided into phases of accumulation, manipulation and distribution. This concept revolves around liquidity zones, offering a deeper outlook on how institutions trade the market against the retail traders at specific levels. Alpha BTC, a Bitcoin maxi, underlined a similar price range, quoting them here. 103 plus is the closest and would create an higher high on the mid time frames. I'm more optimistic. I think by the time Trump takes inauguration, we could be back in price discovery, which is currently at 108.3. But I'm always optimistic. I'm an eternal optimist, especially with the biddy. Long and strong is how we like it. Also, the CPI data. If the CPI is in favor, an analyst says, I expect us to visit the 101 to 102 range. Let me know where you think will likely be by the time of the inauguration of the Trumpster. And here in a moment, I'm going to pull up the live charts and we'll do some live chart action. Jackson, let me know if you were on the 12-hour pump watch. That was pretty fun, which we ended here early this morning. But let me see if I can flip it into the charts. Give me 1 second. Let me know if you can see that on your screen, family. You're looking at the 1-hour chart here, looking sexy as a mofo. We have a target of 1046 on the 1 hour, and we'll give you different looks. Here's the 4-hour. The 4-hour also very bullish with a target sitting at 1046 as well. One of my favorite charts right there. Checking out the daily. You can see the past couple of days, big green bull candles, which we love to see after that $89,000 dip. And zooming out from the daily, I'll take a quick look at the weekly. And we still have the sexy cup and handle target flexing on you at 124. And another question, when do you think we'll hit the 124 price target? I think it's destiny for Q1. I don't know the exact date or the time. I don't have the crystal ball in front of me, but let me know your thoughts. And checking out the monthly, and as you can see here, it's going up forever, Laura. Yeah, I mean, November was the biggest candle we've ever had since the inception of the Genesis block. We had a little corrective candle for December, and here we are halfway through January. Let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price action, Jackson, will likely take us next. And we'll go from there. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser, since Russia took over pricing of the global commodities, energy, agro metals, etc., in February of 2022, the U.S. dollar-based inflation will never see 2% again. 7 to 15% is the new normal. Only Bitcoin can save your purchasing power. And that's a fact, Jack. So shout out to the high priest, the one and only Max Kaiser. And something I learned from him is it's a mathematical certainty that the US dollar is mathematically guaranteed to decrease in purchasing power, and Bitcoin's the polar opposite. It's mathematical certainty. It's mathematically guaranteed to increase your purchasing power, and that's why we stacked the biddy. Next story of the day. I gave you kind of the rundown of my overall experience. And again, if you have particular questions, feel free to reach out. We're about to recapture 100 G's, baby. But let's discuss the Thailand ETF. Thailand, for those that don't know, is actually one of my favorite countries, at least in Asia. I've lived in Asia. I've lived in China. I've, traveled, spent 30 days in Thailand, spent 30 days in Bali. And for me, Thailand takes the cake. The headline reads, Thailand eyes the spot Bitcoin ETF approval and cracks down on the poly market. That's right. Thailand's considering allowing spot Bitcoin ETFs to list on the local exchanges for the very first time, according to the Country Securities and Exchange Commission. And January 14th, the SEC said the regulator is assessing whether both retail and institutional investors could trade the spot Bitcoin ETFs locally. Like it or not, we have to move along with more adoption of the cryptos worldwide. And that was according to Bloomberg. We have to adopt and ensure that our investors have more options in crypto assets with the proper protection. In June of 2024, Thailand's One Asset Management introduced a fund of funds, which offers exposure to overseas spot Bitcoin ETFs, but direct Bitcoin ETF listings still remain off limits. Thailand's SEC is also considering allowing firms with strong credit ratings to issue stablecoins backed by corporate bonds to help widen access on the debt markets. Meanwhile, the ruling Thai party de facto leader suggested issuing government bond-backed stablecoins for retail and institutional investors. Also proposed creating a Bitcoin sandbox in Phuket for tourism-related transactions. I also spent like a week in Phuket. It's a very tourist destination. Wasn't my favorite city in Thailand, but also was good experience overall. Now, according to Chainalysis' 2024 Crypto Adoption Index, Thailand showed notable participation in retail and centralized crypto services, ranking 16th in overall adoption. It stands 15th in retail centralized service value and 19th in decentralized finance transaction volume. Now, quoting regarding this Thailand cyber police target, the Polymarket, this is actually interesting. The police lieutenant shared Polymarket, a global website that provides a variety of prediction services such as politics, sports, and entertainment. Economics was found to be illegal online gambling in Thailand. Wow, because the use of crypto for trading. So apparently gambling is just against the law, and Polymarket is the largest, I guess, spread for betting, just betting in general on specific things, whether Trump was going to be president, if Gary was going to get fired. You can just bet on the most random things. So it's still a form of gambling. So they're ultimately saying that's not allowed and they don't want that there in their country. And I don't blame them. I mean, honestly, gambling is of Satan, but it's so mainstream now. It's not even funny so much. I mean, most every YouTuber promotes gambling because that's where the money is at. It's such a big industry, and sports is driven off of gambling, if you know what I'm saying. But you guys already know I'm preaching to the choir. Next, we're going to discuss breaking news from the U.S. Senate Banking Committee. Their chairman says the crypto framework will be a top priority. Would Cartman say? Respect my authority. Republican Senator Tim Scott, recently elected chair of the U.S. Senate Banking Committee, announced that developing a regulatory framework for the digital assets would be one of the body's priorities in the 119th Congress of the USA. In a January 15th notice, Senator Scott said the Banking Committee intended to focus on policies for financial inclusion that create opportunity in the U.S. The committee's list of priorities included affordable housing, economic national security, oversight, and digital assets. Quoting him here. Under Chair Gary Gensler, if you're listening, Gary, go home and get your shine box. Your kind ain't welcome around here. The SEC refused to provide clarity to the crypto industry. What else is new? No Claire Gare. He didn't get that nickname for nothing. Which has forced projects overseas. That's right. It's called the War on Crypto. Moving forward, the committee will work to build a regulatory framework that establishes a tailored pathway for the trading and custody of the digital assets. The South Carolina senator added the committee would have an open-minded environment for stablecoins and related digital asset products. He could face opposition from committee ranking member Elizabeth Warren, everyone's least favorite human being, Pocahontas, who was critical of many crypto policies in the 118th Congress. That's right. Biden, Kamala, Warren, Gensler, they're all a part of the problem here in our world. Until January 3rd, former Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown had chaired the Banking Committee, a position he took in 2021. However, he lost his bid for the re-election against Republican Bernie Moreno, paving the way for the party to take majority control of the chamber and elect Scott to chair the committee. The Crypto-Backed Politician Action Committee, we'll call PAC, I don't know if it's PAC, actually. It's probably PAC. Fair Shake spent more than $40 million to support Moreno through media buys, in which was one of the most expensive congressional races in the history of the election cycle, 2024, that is. In a statement, Colin McLaren of the Cedar and Innovation Foundation said a group planned to be working closely to support Scott's effort to pass the crypto market structure bill. Cedar had partnered with the Blockchain Association to stand with crypto and has the same spokesperson as Fair Shake. And under Senator Brown, the Banking Committee considered stablecoin legislation and held several hearings to discuss issues related to digital assets, including the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's enforcement cases against crypto firms. And as of Jan 15th, today, only one event appeared on the Banking Committee calendar for the year to consider the nomination for the security of the U.S. Department of the Housing and Urban Development. So there you have it, yo. You already know we got a pro-crypto administration taking place in 5 more days as Pretty Little Bitty continues. Going up forever, Laura. Next story of the day, we discussed the U.S. Senate. Now let's discuss this $249,000 target with the Trump administration, and then we'll discuss a little deeper into the executive order. According to the Washington Post, there's going to be all these pro-crypto and Bitcoin executive orders day one when Trump takes office in 5 more days. And so let me know, do you think we'll be back at price discovery by the time of the official inauguration day in 5 days? Let me know. And I'll read those comments out loud in a bit. This headline reads, Bitcoin inflows under Trump spark new 249,000 bitty price target for this year. So in my humble opinion, my base case was 222. But then once they announced everything they did, like at the Nashville event with Trump and RFK speaking about not only stockpiling Bitcoin, RFK proposed purchasing 4 million Bitcoin for the Treasury of the U.S. And then Trump said, we're going to purchase 1 million Bitcoin. And Cynthia, things just got way more bullish. And I had to up it. And I ripped up my bear scenario to a base case of 420 for the broskies. And my bull scenario is 1.1 million. Max Kaiser's scenario for the cycle is 2.2 million. I trust Max. He channels Satoshi, so you already know. But anyways, Bitcoin can reach 250 G's, baby, this year as $500 billion of new capital flows in. And I'd say that's a very, very, conservative target. And that's just my opinion. Let me know your opinion. Bitcoin is primed to hit at least 145 G's this year. As in the U.S., I think we can do that first quarter. What are your thoughts? Discussing where Bitcoin may be headed, the firm flagged favorable U.S. political and economic trends as the basis for the solid bull thesis, quoting them here. About 520 billion of the fresh capital would flow into the biddy this year. In the context of favorable regulatory, monetary, and cyclical conditions, it's reasonable to expect capital to continue flowing into the biddy this year in 2025. Amen. Can I get an amen? Now, this chart shows Bitcoin's realized market cap. You can see here on your screen what a value of the supply as it moves on chain. And since 2015, if the market follows historical patterns, Crypto Quant said, the 520 billion tally becomes attainable. Quoting them here, Bitcoin can rise to 145 to 249,000 in 2025, given the expected capital inflows. The expansion in the total capital invested into the biddy has more than proportional effect on the Bitcoin market's value and price. Crypto Quant joins various bullish Bitcoin price predictions for the coming year, some of which include the leap to the coveted 7-figure mark. That's only a 10x. 10x is nothing. How many times has Bitcoin 10x since the inception of the Genesis block? So many times we can't count. So anything's possible. And speaking of 10x, Samson Mao has been calling for that for a while. Shout out to the Jan 3 founder. He said last year, the Omega candle, and FYI, the Omega candle is a $100,000 daily increase on the daily chart, which, holy moly, I can't wait for those days. When Bitcoin's $1 million, a God candle is a 10% candle. That's nothing. Bitcoin's done 20% candles, you know what I mean? You'll start to go up by 10,000 a day or drop by 10,000 a day. That's the God candle. After that, we start to see the Omega candle. Then what about 1 million a day? Can we call that the Super Saiyan candle? Can I coin that right now? Super Saiyan candle? Bitcoin Super Saiyans, we go up 1 million a day, which is 100,000 increments daily, he says. Again, shout out Samson Mao. So ahead of the U.S. Trump inauguration, Jan 20th, rumors are swirling over first day announcements. Now for our feature story of the day, fam, President-elect Donald Trump, a.k.a. the Trumpster, expected to sign pro-Bitcoin and pro-crypto an executive order on his very first day of presidency, according to this report shared by the Washington Post. I'm not going to say I'm a fan of the Washington Post, but nonetheless, that's where this story comes from. But let's break this down. Trump has 5 days to take over, and Gensler, if you're listening, you're fired. Go home and get your shine box, brother. That's right. Trump could potentially sign off on a crypto-friendly regulation via executive order on the very first day in office, according to the new report from the Washington Post. According to a person involved in the conversations, Trump's incoming crypto czar, David Sachs, and other insiders have been working with crypto leaders to create a legislative strategy that can end unfair treatment of the industry by the banks and the regulators. Rest in peace, Nate Dogg. And according to the Washington Post, it could sign the executive order to address the issue of debanking, the political shutting down of crypto firms' bank accounts, which is pretty messed up. That's part of the war on crypto with the Biden administration, as well as the repeal Staff Accounting Bulletin, which is SAB 121, the government's policy guidance or guidelines that require companies to list digital assets as liabilities on their balance sheets. Some unnamed source shared the following. The Trump team has made it very clear that this is a priority. In a statement to the Washington Post, Brian Hughes, a spokesperson for Trump's transition team, says there has been an effort from the bureaucratic swamp of D.C. to stifle tech innovation with unnecessary regulation and taxes, something the new administration plans to end, quoting him here. With support from many entrepreneurs who are thrilled to turn the page on the past 4 years, President President Trump and David Sachs will safeguard free speech online, steer us away from the big tech censorship, and develop a legal framework so the crypto industry can thrive in the United States. Another person familiar with the plans told Washington Post that various tech-friendly leaders will likely be scattered all over the place and appointed to different government agencies, including the White House, the Pentagon, the Department of Health, and Human Services to promote their agenda. Well, it sounds like we have a pro-crypto administration in the works, but don't take it from me. Let's hear directly from the Trumpster himself when he spoke at Nashville.
This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world.
So first and foremost, do you think Trump is sincere and understands what he's talking about there? Do you think the United States of America will become the superpower when it comes to crypto for the world? Yes or no?
Get it done.
He says we'll get it done, broskies.
If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA. It's
made in the USA.
Going to be. It's not going to be made anywhere else.
And then he claims it's not going to be made anywhere else, which leads me to believe you don't understand it at all. But that's kind of funny. What are your thoughts on that one?
If Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon.
It's going to the moon, where no man has gone before, by the way. Facts.
I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen.
That's a fair statement. He wants America to be the nation that leads the way, but it's already written. El Salvador has been leading the way. It's just the truth, at least for Bitcoin, that is. So,
I pledge to the Bitcoin community.
All right, listen up. This is a pledge. Scout's honor.
That the day I take the oath of office, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's anti-crypto crusade will be over. It will.
Day one, the war on crypto, finito, like a young Danny DeVito.
It'll end. It'll be done. It'll be.
So be it.
Done.
I think anyone who promoted the war on crypto, like the Senator Warrens and all those satanic forces, they should all be removed. You know what I mean? If you really want to drain the swamp, get rid of them all.
On day one, I will fire Gary Gensler.
And the crowd erupts. If you're listening, Gary, go home and get your shine box, brother.
And appoint a new SEC chairman.
The Nippinator's taking over. New chair. Anyways, family, welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. This is the final live from Bitcoin country.
Oh, bring me up, bitty glow. Prize discovery, yeah, let it show. Bang, 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 like a B-52, we built a bitty.
Stacked revolutionary love shack, boo. I'm stacking sats like it's Max and Stacy. Stacking sats cause tax is crazy. I'm stacking sats cause the IMF hates me. Stacking sats cause the haters don't faze me. No Diddy, no Jay-Z. Stacking the bitty like it's Nipsey and JV. Stacking the bitty like it's paper and Chandy. Stacking BTC like caffeine in my canteen. Life is a game of chess that makes biddies the damn queen. Stacking BTC till they cancel me and I can't stream. Like Biggie, it was all a dream. Now the biddy has set me free.
Going, let's biddy up, babe. Bang, bang on the door, baby, never let it fade. Auto house strong, yeah, we built it this way. No one to hold 'em, yeah, we're holding, never folding.
I've always been a rapper, honky cracker, but now I'm a pastor, Bitcoin stacker. Now I'm a master of the Bitcoin standard. Hit 'em up faster than the Bitcoin panda. You can't touch me with your shitcoin flow. Like, do you even Bitcoin, bruh? Let me know. Welcome to the Bitcoin show. Now listen up closely, low-key, stacking BTC like Satoshis. In El Salvador with my Bitcoin broskies, raising up the biddy like Gohan. Living in a huddle house, we're not the pawns.
Going, let's biddy up, babe. Bang, bang on the door, baby, never let it fade. Auto house strong, yeah, we built it this way. No one to hold 'em, yeah, we're holding, never folding.
Bitcoin's dripping like a new Scottie Pippen 80 G's. We're royalty, biddy kings and queens, manifesting the kingdom that's finally come. Playing chess moves, checkmate, we won.
We're raising the roof in El Salvador. Freedom flows, IMF can't hold us no more.
Stacking BTC like Tate versus the BBC. Stacking the biddy like BTC OGs. Stacking BTC on Lightning with no fees. Stacking BTC like Snoop Dogg rolls weed. Stacking BTC like Scarface with a nosebleed. Stacking BTC like Shinobi, nobody knows me. Stacking BTC like everyone owes me. Stacking BTC like Max and John McAfee. Stacking BTC, accumulating stats so rapidly, so happily. Stacking BTC so casually, no casualties of galaxies around Earth fallacies. Stacking BTC on a flat Earth with no gravity. Stacking BTC cause Bitcoin is your majesty.
Going, let's biddy up, babe. Bang, bang on the door, baby, never let it fade. Hollow house strong, yeah, we built it this way. Know when to hold 'em, yeah, we're holding, never folding.
Bitcoin glow, stack it up, let it show. Price discovery, patience, game on, let's go. Biddy up, Roger out. We're changing the world, there's no doubt.
Bitcoin glow, stack it up, let it show. Price discovery, patience, game on, let's go. Biddy up, Roger out. We're changing the world.